This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming Maria McCann. Maria was in the cult classic teen movie sequel, Zapped Again, celebrating its 35th anniversary, where she played the popular girl crush, mean girl, Amanda. And I used to watch that movie on USA Up All Night when I was a kid. It's going to be great to have her on to talk about that. She's had an interesting career. She did an indie movie called God, Sex, and Apple Pie, which is kind of a Big Chill / Return of the Secaucus 7 kind of a movie. She guest starred on ER, Judging Amy, The West Wing, and she's also a voiceover actor and an acting coach. And it's going to be a pretty interesting talk today. I'm looking forward to it. Also, rest in peace, Rick Davies of the classic progressive rock band Supertramp. Very talented keyboardist. They're a very talented band. I mean, they went from prog rock to pop rock in just a few years, but they're a very talented band, and it's a sad loss because he is the leader of the band. Bloody well right. So yeah, here is my interview with Maria McCann. This is such a great honor. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for asking. You have the memory of an elephant, clearly.
I do.
You remember way back, dude.
I do. So going back in time, I was reading that you began acting professionally at the age of 16. But before that, were you doing school plays and community theater and all that?
No, I guess you're right. Yeah, junior high, middle school was when I realized, like, not everybody wants to be an actor. You're kidding me. So I started to take professional classes. I grew up in the Los Angeles area, but, Pasadena. So, and my father was a fire chief and my mom, a Mexican-American little lady from East LA. So they didn't know anything about acting or anything. So it seemed a world away. But yeah, my dad would drive me every Sunday morning really far so that I could take my acting classes back when I was, I don't know, like 11 and 12, probably.
So they were supportive then.
My dad was. My mother was forced to play piano, and she was a folklorico dancer, like a Mexican and flamenco dancer. And so she was not into me performing because she was forced to perform.
Wow.
So... But anyway, so at least I had my dad, and it was, he was a quiet, strong type. So it was neat that we had, until he died. That was our thing that we talked about. And so that strengthened my love for it too, I think.
Wonderful. So the first real big acting job was an MTV commercial with Keanu Reeves.
Yes, and you can still, people love to pull that up. Everybody can see it on YouTube. Did you see it?
I saw it, yeah. They repainted the stripes on the road.
I mean, somebody recently said to me, what did it mean? I'm like, they didn't know what it meant. And at the time, The River's Edge had come out.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Keanu Reeves was a big deal. He walked around set like he was a big deal. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, he wasn't quite famous yet. But I got to sit in the car with him all day and play his girlfriend. So that was a pretty good first gig.
Yeah, did you do more commercials after that?
I had done, bread and butter. That is bread and butter in the LA area. So yeah, I did a lot of commercials. And that was, I think, that was non-union because my first SAG job was Zapped Again. So, and I was still in high school. I was shooting it my senior year of high school, actually.
Yeah, what other commercials did you do?
Oh my gosh. It's just, all of a sudden I can't, Leptoprin ads. What else did I do? I did, vitamins and cars and yeah. I've done a lot of different ones. You caught me off guard. I haven't thought about that in a while.
Burger King?
I did do, what's the other one? Jack in the Box. And I actually Not last Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl before that, I did a McDonald's with my two daughters. So we were all in it together. So that was kind of fun.
Nice, nice. Yeah, everyone's done a Burger King commercial at least.
Yeah. It was more fun than Jack in the Box. I don't know if do they have Jack in the Box everywhere, but
Yeah.
the voice of Jack in the Box
Hmm.
is the director of the commercial. So it's kind of a trip because you hear the Jack in the Box guy telling you action or whatever. So
I never knew that. That is a trip.
yeah, and then the guy who wears the head has these beautiful hands. It's like
Yeah.
that's his main claim to fame is he just wears the head and moves for the director's voice. It's very, very interesting. But that was a fun set. Yeah.
It is. It's like he's a hand model or something.
Exactly. Yes.
So how does Zapped Again come into the picture for you?
I was just auditioning and they had to figure out a reason. So the way Screen Actors Guild works is like they want people to hire screen actor, members. And I remember at the time there was like CPR or something supposed to be in the film, and so they told the union, "Oh, this girl, we had to hire her because she knows CPR," or something, something like that. So it was my first, entree into the union. And the funny thing, I was just telling somebody about it because I told them about this interview, and they were like, "What? You were in Zapped Again?" And I was like, "It's so funny because I had brown hair, but so did Kelly Williams, who's the star of that of the film. She plays the good girl, and I played the mean girl.
Right.
And she went on to be in The Practice for years and other stuff.
Right.
But anyway, I got to set, and they were like, "We're gonna perm your hair, and you're gonna go blonde." And it turned out kind of orange.
Yeah, it did.
No.
No, but you look great in it. You look really good.
Yeah, well, thanks. I did not think it was a sexy look by any means, and it's one of those kind of cringy, kind of looks. But it was a really fun set to be on, and yeah, I was grateful to be there.
Had you seen the original first?
Oh yeah. I'm a child of that era. That was a big movie with Scott Baio and Willie Ames and Heather Thomas and all of it. Yeah. And then the other funny thing I was just telling them, I'm just going off on this silliness. For anybody who's seen the movie, I had a butt double. They show my bare bottom, and I remember.
I was going to ask you that.
I remember being on set, and they brought the girl in who was going to be like my butt, and then it was tan and perfect, and I was like, all right, winning. I got the cutest butt in the world. So
yeah,
but not my butt.
Yeah, and he makes your shirt fly open. You're like, I can't help it. They're still growing.
They're still growing. And that was another one, too. It was kind of a down and dirty, it wasn't a huge budget movie. So I remember mine were really little. And so they put rice in like nylon things, and they duct taped it under on my skin to make me look like I had a bust. And getting that duct tape off, there was some skin that went with it. That was a rough one. But again, I looked cute. So what can you say? You got to go with it.
You did. Yeah, I've talked to a few people who are in the movie, Ira Hayden and Lucy Boyer. She told me about you smearing lipstick on her in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. That was so fun. Yeah. And Ira, what a doll. He was like the mascot there. You know what I mean? He's how there's always on a set somebody that everybody can agree on, everybody likes, and Ira was definitely the social butterfly out there.
I met him at a convention with the Nightmare on Elm Street cast and stuff. He's a great guy, really great guy.
Yeah, he is. He is for sure.
Did you base Amanda on girls that you knew that were mean?
Yeah, for sure. There's always those mean girls, but she's also just trying to get boys' attention, and she has her reasons, and I think that's the thing. Even now with acting, it's like the key to playing the bad guy is making them the hero of their own story. They always think that they're doing the right thing. So I don't think Amanda was my character. I don't think she felt like she was mean at all.
Yeah. Was Todd Andrews good to work with?
Todd Andrews it was the first time I'd been around somebody who, well, I was so young, but he would like yell at people to get out of the shot, He was very serious about it. So like he couldn't have anybody in his eye line, and I think it's a good thing to learn as a young actor, like you can ask for what you need and you can be strong about it. But what's funny though too, and I always say the wrong things, Tommy. I'm known for saying the wrong things and being too blunt, but I will say Reed Rudy, who played my boyfriend in it, was hilarious. Like he is one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet, and he ended up being huge in commercials in LA as well. I would run into him all the time.
Yeah.
But I remember when we saw the rough cut, he was genius. He was so funny. And then when I saw the final cut, they had taken out all of his funny stuff.
Wow.
And they had added all of Todd Eric Andrews, like as much as they could make it. And it was the first time I learned, like, and I've been on other sets where it's happened to me, where Reed Rudy wasn't the star of the movie. Todd Eric Andrews was the star of the movie. And I realized the power of editing, that what happens on set doesn't mean the audiences are going to see that. Yeah. They're going to see the how they shape and sculpt the story. So that was a disappointment to little naive Maria, because I was like, but wait a second, Reed was so funny and so good, and but it wasn't his story. And I'd been cut out of so many things. I was on Criminal Minds, I remember, and I had this great scene with my son and talking about my husband, and I got everybody to go watch, and I'm sitting there with my husband, and they cut all of it.
Oh.
And I was heartbroken. And my husband looks at me and he said, well, did your section move the story forward? And I was like, what? He's like, did your scenes improve the overall story or move it forward? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, they cut it because of that. And so that's always interesting to keep in mind.
I know those stories, like the legendary character actor Dick Miller, who was in all the Roger Corman and Joe Dante movies. He was cut out of Pulp Fiction, and I've seen his scene. He was the Monster Joe truck guy who's disposing of the body, and he went to the premiere not knowing he was cut out, and he was pissed at Tarantino until the day he died.
Yeah, I would think so. And just talking, since we're talking just people, like, do you know Patrick Warburton? He was from
Family Guy and Seinfeld. Yeah,
Family Guy. Yeah, I did it. He did a sitcom after that, and I was in it, and I was really funny in it. And on set, he was fighting to give me more lines and fighting to whatever. And the showrunner said same thing, like, is this show about her or is this show about you?
Yeah.
And I had to watch Patrick Warburton go, all right, man, okay. But I'll always love Patrick Warburton for that because, he was standing up for the little guy at that point, even though he got shot down.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I used to see this one and the first one back to back on USA Up All Night with Gilbert Gottfried when I was a kid. And and it's funny, I had seen the first one uncut when I was like 5 years old, and it scared the shit out of me, especially when the dummy showed up. Oh my God, that was horrific for me.
Yes, poor little 5-year-old Tommy.
Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff at that age that I shouldn't have. I'll tell you.
We did the same thing with my daughters. I mean, they were watching The Godfather. I remember my husband showed them like The Shining when they were 7, and it was like, what are we doing here? But he's a film guy, your parents are probably film people. Very
much so, yeah. The Shining was like one of my first movies I ever saw, and it scared me. And it's funny, I just said this the other day. I saw The Godfather for the first time when I was about 6. And when Brando puts the orange peel in his mouth, and he's just, playing around with his grandson in the garden, and then he drops dead of a heart attack. That was the first time I ever saw a heart attack. It was like, what is that?
That's scary too. I never even thought about that. I was thinking about the violence and the guns and everything, but yeah, that's pretty scary too to a little kid.
Yeah. I mean, I was used to the shootouts and stuff. I had already seen that stuff, but like a heart attack, that was a new world to me.
But that's interesting just about action films in general, right? There's a huge body count, and it's not personal. I think it's always so interesting. That's what is more offensive, right? When you get to know the one person and they get shot, it's a much bigger deal than action adventure.
I love that. It's not personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it when Todd comes to you and he says he's doing that bullshit survey. Girls that don't break wind and other miss.
I stand by that. Girls do not break wind, Tommy. I don't know what kind of ladies you're hanging out
with. Well, some do, some don't. It's half and half, really. Sue Ann Langdon, she's the only one from the first one who returned for this one. She must have been a barrel of laughs.
Do you know Sue Ann Langdon? Because I remember Karen Black, and I remember Linda Blair.
And Lyle Alzado.
Oh, she's the principal you're talking about. Is that Sue Ann Langdon?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't around her much. Linda Blair and Karen Black were just a trip.
Yeah.
They were very nutty.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't doing much. I mean, they weren't doing, especially Karen Black was not acting much. She was kind of that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, for like a high school kid, I'm like, what's going on? And then Lyle Alzado, I used to love because he loved to, like, he was, so buff that he could make one of his chest muscle pecs go up and down and go up and down. I think they put it in the movie, but like that was one of his favorite little things he did to impress everybody.
Yeah.
So funny.
A lot of those guys like to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if the movie went straight to video when it got released?
It did. Yeah. It did. And I remember a lot of it too. It was like we would have to shoot two versions because they knew it would end up on TV at some point too. So originally they never did total top nudity for me. The gal that they had hired to do it walked off set. She didn't end up wanting to do it. So good news for me. The high school boys all really believed that was my butt. You know, like it was so funny for the rest of my life. Like they're all like, "We saw you." It's like, okay, sure you did. But yeah, there was a real sensitivity to, kind of the more raunchy version, and then the one that was going to be televised.
Yeah. I mean, ITC made the movie. They were notorious for making bombs. I think the Muppet Movie and On Golden Pond was their only two box office hits, but then they had Green Ice, The Legend of the Lone Ranger, Hawk the Slayer, and so many other failures. It's amazing. By this time, they were going into the independent world.
B-movie kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew, at the time, nobody thought it was going to. I'm shocked we're talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a cool thing, and you're not the only person that, there's a Zapped Again fan club thing on Facebook, and they always are posting stuff. So it's funny that it somehow hit a chord, but yeah, we all knew we were in a B movie, and that it was just, kind of a laugh. And again, I just felt lucky to be there, kind of thing.
Yeah. So after that movie, is that when you attend UCLA and you graduate with an acting degree?
That's exactly right. Yeah. And it's interesting in hindsight, my dad at the time was like, "Why are you going to college? You should stay acting." And I was like, "I'm a real actor. I'm a theater or whatever." And he ended up being right, because I didn't realize the foothold of youth at that time. Like when I graduated from UCLA, like everybody from Yale Drama School and NYU, all the big, drama schools are all graduating at the same time. So there's a glut on the market. So I didn't end up making money again, really, as an actor until I was around 30.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thinning the herd. I just was like a cockroach. I used to joke. I was not going to quit. And it's funny now that I've moved into audiobook narration. I never thought that I would stop on camera
Yeah.
acting. Although I was in the Ellen Pompeo's new show, Good American Family. They
Uh-huh.
pulled me out of retirement for that. And that was a fun thing to work with her, Ellen Pompeo from Grey's Anatomy,
Mm-hmm.
who's delightful. She has a total Boston accent. She has to have an accent coach there, which just, that surprised me
Yeah.
after all these years. But I never thought I wouldn't be doing on camera, but I've fallen in love with this new audiobook narrating and voice acting. But yeah, so I didn't really kind of get all my TV breaks until I was probably 28 or 29. So things kind of came back.
Yeah, because you came back with this indie film, God, Sex, and Apple Pie, which I watched on Tubi recently.
What, really? Oh
Yeah.
boy. That
Yeah.
one I haven't seen in a long time. That was a kind of a hot mess. That was another fun one though. We were all like taken up to like Lake Tahoe. We were in these beautiful cabins and we all kind of really did become friends.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of those ones. It's always, I'm married to a writer. He was a screenwriter. Now he's a teacher, but it's always fascinating to me when people don't worry about the script first. Like when they
Mm-hmm.
feel like you can improv on set and just kind of figure it out as you go. I think that was also that early 90s, wait, was it? Mid 90s, early 2000s, whatever. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the
98.
indies, yeah, I think a lot of the indies at that time, the mumble indies and the whatever, like it was all very kind of improv. We're going to go out there and do it. But
Right.
yeah, that movie ended up, I think, um, you know, it is what it is, and they just kind of let us shoot things and kind of make stuff up. So anyway,
Yeah, it's like the Big Chill or the Return of the Secaucus Seven. It's got that that vibe to it. I liked
yes,
it. You know, was
yeah.
was that real pot everyone was smoking?
Um, I don't remember. I don't think I had any. Like, I don't even think did. I pretend to smoke pot? I haven't seen that in forever. And that was an interesting one because I got lucky on that one because Steve Rifkin, who played my I hope he ends up listening to this because he's now he's still my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
We were in acting class together, and the gal who was supposed to play my part dropped out last minute. And so, and I knew his wife, and we were all friends. And so he was like, I got somebody who can play my girlfriend. Wife approved.
Yeah.
Like can play my girlfriend. And so I came in really late in the process
Yeah.
of that film, which is interesting because I play an outsider in that film too.
Yeah.
They're all friends, and I'm not. So I was always kind of on my back foot while shooting that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that scene where the girls are all sitting on the big rocks and having locker room talk. Um, big
Yes.
big dicks, little dicks. Hello, anybody in there? I I miss that
Yes.
in movies. I miss when you used to see girl talk in movies like that. It's like non-existent now. You know.
That's so true. And you know what's funny? Two of the women in that scene were
Hmm.
in my wedding.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it? That's how much I really loved them. That's how friendly we got. Andrea Hume is the one that says big dicks, little dicks.
Yeah.
And Penelope Crabtree is the other one. So yeah, I remember that very well. That was a good day.
Yeah. I love that. you guest starred. You guest starred on ER. Anything stand out about that?
Uh, that was my first TV break, and it was my favorite show, and it had been my dream to be on it, and I had been just hitting up the casting person, and it meant so much to me to get on that show. And I slept in the day of the shoot.
Oh
What
wow.
fully, like what a dumbass. So I don't know why I didn't set an alarm. It was awful to just be running to set, and then they didn't have time to put any makeup on me because I was freaking late. And but Noah Wiley, doll face, just such a gentleman and so sweet. So that's nice too. And it's interesting with the hit shows because Grey's Anatomy was the same thing. There's a difference when you go on a set of a show that's struggling.
Hmm.
People end up being kind of mean and it's awful,
Yeah.
versus these shows that have been on forever. It's just so much joy and everything works, and it's just lovely to be invited to the party because it really feels like that when you're on those sets.
Yeah,
So,
people have
yeah.
told me so many sets are not welcoming when they guest star on a show, you know?
Yes, and I find that those are the ones where people are fighting for their lives. What was the name? Invasion was one that I was on, and Sean Cassidy was the executive producer, and
Wow.
everybody was just terrible. But I didn't realize, and that's the thing, kindness from the top trickles down, right?
Yeah.
Or not. So, um, yeah, the more successful the show, I find the kinder the people,
I thought you were
which I suppose.
I thought you were gonna say everybody had a crush on Sean Cassidy.
He was older at that point. I thought it was cool to meet him. But I remember I had been given lines in that piece. I'll never forget this. We were in and the gal, I still know the other actress. We were in the makeup chairs, and Sean Cassidy walked in and went, so I haven't quite decided who's going to get the line. And she and I look at each other, and he goes, so why don't you pick a number between 1 and 10? This is my career, baby. Like, are you kidding me? 1
Yeah.
and 10? All right. And I ended up winning that one. So I got to keep the lines. But stuff like that where you go, that's weird. That's
Yeah.
just a funny way to go. But anyway.
Jonathan Kaplan directed that episode of VR. He passed away just like this summer.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh. You know who was impressive? And
Mhm.
one of my favorite jobs was my second job was working on West Wing with
Yes.
Tommy Shalami,
Yeah,
who
legend.
was legend. And he's another one. There's certain people, when they walk on set, you're just like, oh my God, he just exudes charisma and power and sexy, and you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
he ran that show. And I'll never forget working with Martin Sheen all day. I was his nurse. So I spent all day with him, and he is just such a delightful man. And I remember Charlie Sheen was going through stuff at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember him being like, so his mom and I don't know, what do you think? Did it, like, he was that kind of person.
Yeah.
And me just like, I'm standing here talking to Martin Sheen about his problems. But of course, I will love him forever. Like, he's just a gem. And you know what's interesting about that too? He never remembers anybody's name. I don't know if you ever watched West Wing, and he never
I
remembered
used to.
everybody's name, and he would look names up.
Yeah.
That's true about Martin Sheen. So everybody felt very close to him, but it was a joke with everybody that he could never remember anybody's name.
That is interesting. I never knew that
That is,
about him.
yeah. So, yeah, great
Wow.
guy.
How about Judging Amy?
Judging Amy was another, like, one of my more, like, my larger kind of parts on that. Yeah. Um, that was a good job. I was happy about that one. Yeah. I don't have much to say about it. Like,
Hmm.
easy. Yeah.
I saw this little movie on Tubi you did called Toy. Anything stand out about that? It was pretty powerful.
Toy, is that the one? Listen to me. I'm like, is that the one where it's with the disease thing? Is that the one? What's Toy?
That's the one
That's
with
terrible.
that's Greg Evigan's daughter, Brianna Evigan. She's you know, she's photographing women, and it's like a voyeuristic thing, and then she falls in love with one of the girls that she's taking she's photographing.
Yes, but don't I play the Huntington's? Isn't that the
You
one
play
about
the
Huntington's
you play
disease?
the mom, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I didn't even know about Huntington's disease. I think that ended up, of course, that's what I remember about the movie, but it's a terrible way to die. It's a terrible way to go. And
Yeah.
it's almost always genetic. So, yeah, that was one of the big things in the movie, is that she knows she's probably got that and probably going to go. So, yeah, that was a powerful thing. And then my daughter played the daughter, or played her young,
Hmm.
played her young. There's a scene with a little girl on the swing, and that's my daughter. And I was on set, and they needed somebody, and So I called and had my kids show up. So that was interesting too. That was more her big first thing.
Yeah, it reminded me of Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which I can relate to Spader's voyeurism like I can with the character of Chloe. I was titillated by the movie by a lot.
Yeah. That was a powerful, powerful piece and powerful directors. And we haven't talked about my favorite person I ever worked with was James Spader.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. On the practice, I spent a week with him, and I was a huge Flashdance fan growing up. And so Michael Nouri, who plays the hot guy in that, played my husband in that. And my lawyer was James Eckhouse, who was the dad on 90210. And then there was James Spader played. So I'm the cheating wife in that one. And one of my favorite roles ever. Like, it ends up at the very end, they just put pictures of me all over, having cheated on my husband or whatever. And the last one, I'm licking the guy's feet. So you see this big picture of me, But James Spader is the most, like every role he plays, I don't know if you remember from like The Blacklist, that whole, like, if you can hang with him and give him crap back, if you can, be tough and clever and whatever, he's so fun to be around. And it's different now with the Me Too movement or whatever, but I've never been so sexually harassed in my life and enjoyed every minute of it. He would just say funny, inappropriate things. And I would be, he would say things like, how do you feel about seeing yourself looking so sexy up there or whatever?
Yeah.
I'd be like, give it a rest.
Well, if you two have camaraderie, then it's not really sexual harassment.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he just did that to kind of see, that's what they write for him. That's another interesting thing about, I don't know if you've ever noticed, like, Grey's Anatomy is a perfect example of I forget her name. She's an African-American actress, but they called her the Nazi the first year.
Oh, yeah, I
know. And then
she
ends up being so delightful. Like, sometimes, or a lot, characters evolve based on who the actor is that's playing them, their personalities. So I always love watching Spader's stuff because they always end up putting kind of his sly sense of humor in it. And then I remember when he won the Emmy, it was after I worked with him a couple of years after, and his acceptance speech was like, I just want to thank all the ladies for their shoes. I love seeing the feet in their high heels, something like that. And I was like, very on brand, James Spader, very on brand.
Yeah.
I loved him. I thought he was so charming, and he's really smart. And he was talking about Spencer Tracy, like that it's a lazy man's job being an actor. And I remember getting into interesting philosophical discussions with him about that, because I disagree with that. Mm-hmm. But I think he came from very impressive, professorial people. And so being an actor is not that.
Yeah, I remember he did an episode of Boston Legal where he's like massaging this woman's foot, and he's like, it's a fetish.
Again, building it around the actor, which I just absolutely love. I think that's so funny.
Yeah. So what got you into voiceover?
It's interesting. In years past, I had thought about getting into voiceover, and it was a really closed community. And at that time, I was making very good money as a commercial actor. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't want to climb that mountain. It's a whole nother business with different connections, and all of the arts, and I guess all of business ends up being about relationships, right? So and nurturing those relationships. So I was like, I can't do it. But what happened was the pandemic hit, and at that time, I was reading in print and then listening to 50 books in print, 50 books audiobooks per year, and reviewing them. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, we're going to do this class on audiobooks. And I was like, why have I never thought of it? You know what I mean? Like it never struck me. Like, mm-hmm. I could do my favorite thing in the world, which is read. Yeah. And my favorite thing in the world is acting. My second favorite thing is reading. And I remember my first class, the teacher saying, I get to wake up every morning and go into my closet and act. And it was still Zoom time and my camera wasn't on. And I burst into tears. I was like, that's been my dream from the time I was 14. I just want to wake up every morning and act. And I get to do that now. It's just been such a gift to me, such a joy. So I started 3 years ago, and I'm working on like my 130th book at this point.
Wow.
So it's gone well.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like more and more actors are doing it now, and all you have to do is be on a yacht in the Caribbean and just, record your voice. You don't have to go in the studio anymore. You know.
It is so true. And it reminds me of like the movies. Like back in the day with audiobooks even, they would just say, just read it. So Penguin Random House would just read it. So if you listen to audiobooks from before, let's say 2015 or something, they're very flat. But I think that the listeners' ears have gotten sophisticated and we expect more from our media. And so, yeah, they've moved into wanting full acting performances in these audiobooks. And it's the only way we're going to beat AI.
Right.
Amazon has been giving indie authors free AI to kind of get human narrators out of the picture. And so that's been threatening to the people in the business. But I always say people are always going to buy fresh flowers. They're not going to all want the plastic flowers just because they exist. People are going to want quality at some point. So anyway, I think being great actors who are narrators is going to be the way to have longevity in that. Yeah.
Have you thought about doing voiceover for animation? I know that's highly competitive.
Yeah, I don't have interest in it. Like I said, there's something about just reading and just something about just the reliability of the work. I get to play all the parts, and yeah. Again, it's not a competition that I wanted to get into. We all only have so many hours in the day, in my
Right.
opinion, and I feel like you have to be wildly focused on. That's been my experience, at least. That those who focus like lasers on what they want tend to be the most successful. So I don't have the bandwidth. I'm also an acting coach,
Oh
and
yeah.
I also co-direct shows at a high school here in Los Angeles, Burbank High. So yeah, and I coach for narrators and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't have the bandwidth to do that, but I admire those that do, and I think it seems really fun. I think you have to be a big personality for that too. I mean, not that I'm not, but I mean, some people just do amazing voices, and that's not my thing.
Yeah, and a lot of them come from stand-up comedy or improv or
Exactly.
something extra, to do something like that. Yeah. What,
Yeah.
when did the coaching start for you?
There was a time in my 20s before I started making money again that I was a student of Howard Fine,
Hmm.
who's a big acting teacher to this day, and I just loved talking about acting. So even in my 20s, I had started coaching for on-camera auditions. So it's just been always something that I love to do. And now with the narrating, it's just kind of morphed into that, just because that's my world right now. But yeah, I am a good communicator on helping people figure out how to act. So it's another one of my joys in life.
Do you get a satisfaction teaching that you don't get when you're performing?
Yeah, yes. I think, especially, I work with young performers, and what I always say to parents is, I don't know if any of I don't expect any of your kids to be actors, but my purpose here is to make every single kid be able to stand in the middle of a room, fully committed, being 100% themselves and speaking from their place of power, and from what is uniquely them. And I think in any career that will be, powerful to move them forward. So that's part of it too, is helping people find what is interesting and special about themselves and then turning that up and building the confidence in that. Because that's really acting, right? If we
Yeah.
all love our certain actors, Brad Pitt, like everybody's got their something. So it's helping people celebrate. that. So that's the joy for me, I think.
That is just beautiful. Are you allowed to say when a book is coming out and you narrated it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are always ones coming out. I work with both indie and publishers. Uh, my favorite indie one, which has not gotten enough feet under it, is Saint Elspeth, which is what's his name? Welk. Carson Welk wrote it, but he has like over, I think close to 1 million followers. I think he's a doctor, an ER
Uh-huh.
doctor. But that's a really interesting one. But the next one I'm working on is called A Beautiful Life. It's a thriller. I play the detective trying to figure out uh, why this man was murdered, and so it's split among three narrators, which is also fun to when they have multiple narrators on pieces is a lot of fun.
Is there any genre you wouldn't narrate?
No, but it's funny. What sells a lot is romance and erotica. Like there's
Yeah.
so much like money in it. And I even have a pseudonym, but I've done one book under it. I don't know why. I don't get the sexy time ones. I just don't. My favorite thing to do,
Hmm.
and I've done a lot of it, is the urban fantasy, paranormal, women's fiction. So I'm talking shifter alpha wolf boyfriends and witches and vampires and all of that stuff. And the books that I love, there's CP Ryder is one that I love working with, and L.A. McBride, and they have really strong female main characters,
Hmm.
and usually octogenarian or so, like sidekick friends, sassy old ladies, and hot alpha wolf boyfriends. So I enjoy the hell out of them, and they have a sense of humor, and they have a sense of inventiveness. I think it's kind of like why we all fell in love with Harry Potter was the idea of like, oh, I never thought about that. That's a cool way to think of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what if we all have different familiars, or what if we're sorted into different houses, or what if So I love that's my favorite thing to narrate for sure.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of erotica, and I'm friends with erotica writers that I've had on the show. And oh my God, we would be canceled if people saw the messages that we have like late at night and the jokes we send each other. It is fun. Erotica writers are fun, and they have just a great sense of humor. I mean, they're someone who can really lift your spirits if you're feeling low.
Yeah, and that is a very competitive genre. There's a lot of great writers doing it, and a lot of great narrators that are friends of mine that are doing it. So people are very invested in it. It's not a throwaway thing at all. And those who are great at it, yeah, they do well for sure.
Absolutely. So now we play my secret silly game. This is a series of silly slumber party questions. It's no win or lose, just pure fun. And how the game works, Maria, is I ask you the question, you answer it, then you ask me that exact same question, and I answer it. And feel free to comment on the answers because they might be funny.
All right, you're the funny one here.
Okay.
I'm the earnest one. You can be the funny one. All right, here we go.
You're so modest. Uh, Maria, are you ticklish?
Okay, my Aunt Bobby used to do tickle torture.
Mm-hmm.
Literally have my cousins hold me down and tickle me. And so if you want to be punched in the face,
Yeah.
tickle me.
Yes, yes, yes.
I hate it. Do you like to be tickled,
Yeah,
Tony?
yes, and it's funny though. If you tickled me without warning, I might hit you in the groin out of reflex. So be careful. But yes, I mean it can be fun and it can be erotic, But I just got to be in the mood for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no me gusta. I do not like it. No.
Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
It is a very skinny, very cutesy pie innie.
Oh,
Yes. God knows what's in there,
yeah.
but because it's just so cute and little. How about you? Ew, don't say you have an Audi, Tommy. Come on.
I did when I was little, but it's an innie now.
Ew. Didn't you get mocked as a little kid at the beach? I feel like we were all so mean to the kids with the Audis.
Yeah, well, I kept it hidden at all times, like when I would go swimming at all times. Now,
Poor thing.
now I don't care. It's funny. I got all these scars around it from my car accident and everything, and I for some
Oh,
reason I'm a lot more freewheeling. I don't care if people see it. But when I was younger,
that's the
yeah,
beauty of age, baby. Who cares? We've given our last F.
it,
Good. I'm glad you don't care.
exactly, yeah. But when I was a kid, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What color are your toenails painted?
Right now, they are a very cute light pink for summer. That looks good with a tan. Yeah. What
Love it.
about you?
Uh,
Black?
no, no, no. They are light purple.
Really?
Yes.
That's nice for summer too. I would have thought you were kind of a tough, I'm going to paint my toenails black guy, but good for you.
Well,
Doing
first
your soft side.
first of all, my mom dislikes it when I paint my toenails black. She thinks it looks gross. And
Well, there is something like that is what people who are dying, right? Their toenails go black. So I
yeah,
can't blame your mommy for that.
but all summer long, I had them clear coated, and when you saw them in the sunlight, you could see rainbows.
Oh, oh, that's cute.
It was very cute, but now they are light purple.
Very nice.
What would you say is your best personality trait?
Oh, good Lord. I am supportive, I think, of other people. I'm a good listener. I don't know. I'm silly.
Yep,
I'm silly.
I
Yeah.
would I
What
would
about you?
I would agree on all of the above. I'm a Gemini. I have empathy and I have no filter.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. And I had usually have I'm getting along with you swimmingly. The
Yes.
Gemini men are my hardest group. My friends who are tell me if this is true about you. My friends who have Gemini mates, they always say you have to just assume they love you and love them first because like I get my feelings hurt by Gemini men. I think you guys have a rough sense of humor sometimes.
We do have a rough sense of humor, yes. I don't know, with me it's just if I like you, I like you, and yeah, when I feel the chemistry there, it's free flowing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a cream puff. I'm one of those like I don't like mean humor. Be nice. So I don't have that. The cute insult humor that people do. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not good with that. I get like butt hurt.
Yeah.
Basically, my
having
poor husband can't give me shit at all. So anyway.
having a podcast and making friends with certain people, I've been able to like accommodate people in their sense of humor and stuff, and I don't mind it. It's fine.
That shows maturity on your end and like a good read of people. You have to, for doing this podcast, you have to be interested
Right.
in the human experience and other people and inherently be a good listener. So that's cool that you make room for how people are.
Yes, it's been a huge learning experience because before that, oh my God, I was a car wreck, and ironically, I got into one.
Oh, isn't that interesting how life goes that way? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think as a stand-up comic, there's can be a thing of you have to look at me, look at me, look at me, like, and
Hmm.
I have to perform, and you guys got to be tough,
Yeah.
right? Like it's tough to put yourself out there on stage, so you've got to have a kind of I don't give a crap what people think or whatever. So uh, it's nice if you found a softening. It sounds like you did. Yeah,
I sure have. I sure have.
yeah.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Beer, lots of beer, Michelob Ultra, and singing karaoke by
I
myself even with my husband at home.
I was a karaoke singer for 10 years. I love karaoke.
We have like a professional setup at our house. Like if you come over, you have to sing karaoke when you're here.
Hmm.
But I love it because it's also now with YouTube or whatever, you can sing any song and then like at our house it's like this isn't going well. Let's kill this one. We're moving on to the next one. We're doing the lab. Move on,
Yeah.
because so it's very supportive and very fun. What's your go-to karaoke song?
I have so many. I can do Beatles songs. I can do Bangles, Talking Heads, lots of people.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. What's your guilty pleasure? I'm afraid now. I'm scared to hear what your guilty pleasure is. What is it?
It's simple. I just love eating pizza and watching a raunchy sex comedy movie.
Yes. That's very on brand for you, Tommy. Very on brand.
Yes. If you could have anything named after you, what would it be?
Ooh. Oh. You go first.
Okay, here's the one to be scared. For me, it's a vibrator.
Ooh. That is. I didn't that like you took a left turn on that. I was thinking all hoity toity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna be all like hoity toity, like a theater.
Oh, I've heard that before. That's not bad. A theater's great.
Yeah. Yeah, but vibrators much more spicy. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
A lube. I'd like to be named after a lube.
Yeah.
Everybody would always be happy to see you if you were named after a vibrator. That's true.
Yep. And then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Oh, oh boy. What is a smell that makes me gag? Um, God, just anything rotting, right?
Yeah.
Like you go by the trash can and you're like, like garbage in the heat, or wait, homeless man urine in elevators in Santa Monica.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I've heard that there's a lot of homeless guys doing very interesting things over there.
My kid is at Georgetown in Washington D.C. and a homeless man was like, I took a shit. Come see it. And she was like, oh, okay, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. What about you? What's your smell?
Either farts or feet.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. I played in a pickleball tournament yesterday, and I came home and I'm watching football because I love to watch football and drink beer. And my new kitten, the cat, came and smelled my feet. And have you ever seen cats when their mouths go open?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, mind your business, kitten. Mind your business.
Yeah. Love it. Oh, Maria, you're a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for inviting me. You're so fun. So yeah, thank you for keeping all these things alive.
Yes, I'm glad that we're following each other on Instagram now. And I will talk to you again. Be safe out there. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Maria McCann, ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my God, I friggin' love her. She is total personality and total fun. I enjoyed every moment of that conversation. And she was a fun Secret Silly Game participant. Oh my God, that surprised me. I'm glad she's loving her career in voiceover. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!